Sweet Maxwell House. What begun the Ornery One. You're looking at it right here, y'all. This is it. I'm going to tell you guys on this video what this bike means to Steph and I, deeply what this bike means to us. I'm going to break it down to you what the bits and pieces on this bike is all about. There's a lot of things that mean something to me as far as my grandpa, as far as Steph building, and as far as friends giving stuff to me. Some of these people call this thing a steampunk bike, a rat bike, and for me, it's just my old chopper. Let's get into that video. If you haven't followed this channel, the Ornery One, I wish you would. Give me some thumbs ups, give me a little love on here, I'd really appreciate it. Anything that you can share would mean a lot to me because sharing is caring, you know what I mean? All right guys, let's get into the nitty gritty of the chopper here, the Maxwell House Chopper. One of the first things I want to share with you guys about Maxwell House. Maxwell House was first built by a buddy of mine, Ulys Youngblood, there at home. Just a phenomenal bike builder, and the history that goes behind Ulys Youngblood goes forever. And the tall tales, just a hell of a storyteller, hell of a bike builder, and just a good friend overall. We miss him extremely. It's been a few years now. We lost him to cancer. Cancer fucking sucks, guys. Ulys Youngblood built this bike. I think I have pictures. I'll have to show you guys. It was yellow with purple flames on it, okay? Well, anyway, it had gone through some different hands. People had rode the shit out of it and let it get down and traded. And by the time I came onto it, another one of my buddies, Jason McGraw, came up with it. And it was a basket case, basically. The whole bike was there. And he was wanting an amount of money for it that I didn't have. So I was able to trade 2 Glocks. That's right, guys. I traded 2 Glocks for the beginning of what Maxwell House was. So we got after it and started putting it together, and it really built itself. It had some little funky ass bars on it. Didn't have a tank, didn't have a seat. It was just basically the frame. So what the frame was is actually a 2002 Craft Tech frame. And the Evo that's on it is basically a Johnny Cat special. It is a top vent, so it's a later Evo, and it has a clunky ass like Ultima 6-speed on it. Basically is the heart of Maxwell House. The front end here, I don't even know what was off of, and everything else we've just bit and pieced together. For the basis of it being built by Ulys Youngblood, and that meant so much to me, especially as he progressed in getting sick and he eventually passed away. Well, you can imagine how much more this bike meant to Steph and I. And he told me about going to all these amazing rallies, and I did that. I've begun to do that. We started chasing these rallies and riding all over the country. You most of the time see us on a Road Glide that we love so much, but here lately we've been really showcasing Maxwell House because we have our old Van Gogh 370,000 mile Chevrolet van and a little old trailer we got real cheap, so we can throw this in the back of it and start hitting these chopper shows. So the passion that we have for choppers is so deep with Steph and I because that is the culture, and that's where we feel most at home is with the choppers and being at those top rallies. In essence, the Ornery One is a stripped down, hard-nosed chopper. That's just how we feel. But you know, guys riding across the country, you can't hardly do that with 2 of us on this thing and really cover ground like we do. So, may do a little rambling here. So, let's get down to some of the custom bits and pieces that we've got on the bike here. I'm really going to show this piece right here. It just flips a lot of people out. So I had a buddy, his dad incinerated people for a living, right? And he would sneak in there and get bits and pieces out of the incinerary and hold them and keep them. I do not know what the hell he's going to do with all these bits and pieces of actual people. Anyway, as morbid as it may be, he would collect these bits and pieces. His dad actually passed away, and Buddy was really well known in town. Everybody knew Buddy, and he had a big history of motorcycles as well, and he worked with Ulys, the dude that built this bike. So, the the history on this bike just thickens and thickens. So me and Chris had grown up together, and he's got old chopper and different bikes, so he's roamed forever. In riding, we've got to know each other over the past year working together. Well, after his dad passed away, I seen him at a gas station at Walmart, and he was really upset, having a hard time with it. And he said, TJ, can I come by your house this evening? I've got something I want to give you. And I'm like, of course you can. So Chris came over that evening, and he gave me this piece right here. And he said it was from Buddy, his dad. And he says, I don't know what you'll do with it, but he said, TJ, I know you'll do something cool. So he gave me this. And what it is a hip, shoulder, something replacement. So it's a ball replacement joint. And I took it, just looking at it, like trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do with it. I didn't know. I carried it around in my pocket for months. We'd like go eat at Colton's. I'd set it up on a table, and the waitresses would like pick this piece up and mess with it throughout the meal. And at the end of the meal, I said, do you know what it is? They tried to guess. They couldn't. And I'd tell them it was a hip replacement or shoulder replacement joint. And they'd flip out, right? So I had so much fun with this. So over that month, I just got to look at it, and I thought, man, that's just perfect for a clutch handle. So that's what I did. I machined a block that would fit for my clutch and tigged it on. So my clutch handle is actually a joint replacement. That's a cool thing about it. A lot of this, I've got to show up to people, and they just flip out. They either love it or think it's morbid. Why would you have that on there? It's bad luck and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the pieces that I fancy the most on here. Now here's another wrench of my grandpa's that I fitted an old mirror that was laying around. So that's something else that I have on here. And then we're going to turn and look at the hammer here on the front. These handlebars I got from somebody. I have no idea. Come up with them. I don't know what they're off or anything. My wife, Steph, she does spoon rings and jewelry out of spoons and forks and different things. So this is a ring that she'd made that I put on there just to represent her. I put wrenches right here and here, which holds this hammer on. That's my grandpa's wrenches that I welded on, and this is one of his old hammers. And then I actually have it to where it pops off, and I can take the hammer out. I'll show you guys that. And it comes right out, and it's got the ornery as fuck on it. So my grandpa's old hammer, I put on the end, eye for an eye. So, it's just got a lot of sentimental stuff to it, and me just fucking around basically in a shop making some shit that I think's cool. And kind of just an homage to old school ways, and to history of people that I love and I miss and I no longer have. Corny as it may be, I really feel like all these people are riding with me whenever I'm riding the chopper. We go down to the headlight here. The old bucket, I have no idea what it's off of, but I actually need better lighting. This thing I just fastened it on as easy as I could, and it bounces around. I gotta do something with that. I'm gonna see about custom dynamics that actually have a light that I can put in here. Move on down to forks here. I do have some custom dynamic fork lights here, which I absolutely love on the chopper, and they really light up a lot around the ring. And then I also have a blinker here too. I'd never ran anything like that on the chopper until here lately, because Steph and I both on it. We're really riding it a lot. And there's a lot more assholes on their phone not paying attention. I really need to be seen. And that kind of brings me to the point is I have the fog lamps down low by Custom Dynamics. That really helps me out a lot right here. That's something I would definitely suggest highly of somebody on a chopper. It's a good way to get some light on it, and they look pretty cool and they can tuck away. Now we're gonna roll on over here, and we're gonna know why it's nicknamed Maxwell House Chopper. My grandpa kept his nuts and bolts in old coffee cans. I'm sure a lot of us have seen that, and that's exactly what we have here. I had a lot of his old stuff laying around, so I just picked this up thinking nothing of it at the time and put this on an old breather. And as I've got out and ran the roads, people started calling this the Maxwell House bike. So you can see why. I have some shears from my grandpa here for my pegs and my brake. You can see how I did that. I just basically welded an ear on there and bolted it on. Under here, I just took flat stock and got it to the thickness I need to, welded them together, made where it worked. Over here, later as I got to riding, I was really needing ride that midpoint because I'm not real tall and I don't like that forward controls that far when you're really getting rough. I want to put my feet down and get my ass up off the seat. So I got one of my Papa's old horseshoes and I made it where I can flip it down and up, place my foot. The exhaust is actually a Paul Yaffe exhaust that would ran on out, but I chopped it and turned it so Steph could get her feet up there, and I actually put a baffle in there. So you'll see a little wrench right here. Yeah, wrench, I'll get that right. So I can baffle that a little bit. And we're just gonna work our way on up on the bike here. There's a O snuff can for the gas lid. I had a buddy of mine, he gave me that, and I put it on there. Oh, Rob Thompson gave me that. And then we'll back off a little bit here. So usually this has where you can get in there to do your fuel gauge and all that. And it has a plate. And it does have that on there, but I want to kind of do something extra. So this is an electrical panel cover for my grandpa. Put that on there as well. And that'll bring me on back here. A lot of people give me hell about that. So that's a door handle on my grandpa's house. So Grandpa kept everything. So I put that on there because I have to actually hold myself onto this bike because believe it or not, guys, old Maxwell House will run 110. Yeah, I've ran with people that had speedometers and we were running 110. I've ran over 110. So you can imagine that old hardtail, we're hitting any kind of rough roads. I actually hang on to that like you would on a horn on a saddle. So that's how I use that. I actually use that to hold myself on. So we'll bring it on back to where I'm gonna flip the O seat up, and the O seat has lawnmower springs on it. So these are off lawnmower, and these are some old tips off some stainless steel pipe. And I flip this up. Now that is an electrical panel. I think it's a 200 amp service to the old house that Grandpa had took one of their boxes and just had the electrical box there. So I took the panel facing off, the face of it, and this is where you would go in to get to your main shut off to your house. So that I made that the cover to the battery. So I just flop those down, get those back in there. Then we'll come on back here. The old machete, I had a buddy of mine, he went down to Mexico and he brought that back for me. So I've carried that. The old army bag I found somewhere. Now I'm gonna have Steph put up a better picture of her making this sissy bar where you can truly see it. So Steph actually built a sissy bar because she was starting to ride on it more. She rode on it for years with no P-pad or nothing. She just rode on the fender, didn't even have any foot pegs. So we got our foot pegs, got a little P-pad underneath there, and then she built her a sissy bar. So once again, something that we built. I'm running custom dynamic lights on the back, so they're turning and stop lights, which I like a whole lot, because on this thing, this old tail light that I have, I can't keep the light in it because it bounces so much, it busts the filament out in there. An old bag I picked up along the way. We come on over here, got a couple blue, got to have the blue balls hanging. My brother-in-law gave me that, Mike. Some old stickers that we've had from here and there. We used to always put on everything, your opinion is not needed, because I get tired of people asking me why. If you have to ask somebody why, you don't get it. And then once again, we go to more shears that I put on for my foot peg and my clutch. And then I did go ahead and put a plate on there where I could have another, like I said, midpoint for my feet to ride on. So truly, this is the first time that I've ever went over Maxwell House and really kind of broke it down to any depth at all. I've always just rode the old bike, and when people see it firsthand, I kind of go into it because there's nothing like firsthand experience telling somebody what this stuff means to me. One thing I was going to say that you guys may have seen, that there is a GPS system on this bike. I actually had some company wanting to send a GPS, and I'm thinking about doing some longer rides on the chopper this year. And I'm gonna be, if I do what I'm thinking, I'll be going through some cities that has a lot of constructions, because I run them all the time, and I'm familiar with the construction and the quick turns, and the traffic through there is getting crazy. Once again, everybody on their phones, and I'm needing to be able to maneuver quickly and keep my eye on the road. And I figure I can take the GPS on and off so quick and so easy that I know it looks hideous, but it'll benefit me. Now, it's not really the old school way, I get it. And true chopper people are gonna probably go, oh my God, fuck that stupid fucking shit. But I really don't care. I want to just run hard, fast, and heavy and have a good time and give the GPS a go. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I'll just take it off. Once again, guys, always doing things my way. And that's, as you can tell on all my bikes, anything I do, that's really my point of view. We just do it the way we want to do it. We don't worry about what anybody else thinks. So I hope you guys like me breaking the Maxwell House Chopper down a little bit for you guys. It means a whole lot to me too whenever I see people out there riding motorcycles that has a lot of character and it's true to their character. It's not something they just bought, it's something they put together, and it's from bits and pieces of their history or from folks that they love so very much. And I think that's the culture of a motorcycle. And it doesn't have to be a Harley Davidson, it can be any kind of bike. Like I said, the first bike I ever started out was a Suzuki 850. That was my first bike. And I actually traded a 357 for it, and we chopped it out, and I rode it for years. It was the first motorcycle that Steph and I ever rode on together. And then I was able to work myself up to a 600 Shadow, Honda Shadow. And I ratted that little bike out in monoshock. It was really cool. Loved that bike to death and rode it so very much. Then I worked myself up to have my first Evo, and maybe I can drop pictures in this video as I talk, and you can see what I'm talking about. But my first Evo was pretty amazing, but due to medical and everything like this that we went through with Steph, I had to end up selling that bike. So the very thing I could do next is trade some more pistols, and it led me to Maxwell House, basket case, and trading those 2 Glocks and getting this, and it led me into this chopper. And the chopper means so very much to me. And I never want to get caught up too much on a brand. Like we say Harley Davidson, guys, don't get caught up on that brand. It's just a motorcycle. They're all just motorcycles. Come in and get a picture with me, Steph. Perfect timing. So like I was saying earlier, guys, this bike means so much to Steph and I because it has so much heart and soul from both of us. Every piece on here means so much to us. I mean, it's hand built from both of us. We both rode on it, and it's really what begun us being the Ornery One.
Yeah, it has.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, guys. So like I said, if you're watching the Ornery One, it is about Steph and I and the love of the motorcycle and you guys. And I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you can, give me some thumbs up. Follow this channel if you haven't subscribed. Go check us out on YouTube and Facebook. We've got all the social media platforms. Definitely go check out our website. Steph has been hard work at that. You can see some of the amazing rides we do here in Arkansas. And you can go there also and look up the Road Glide, and you can see all the products that we run on the Road Glide, and it breaks it all down. And it shows you our relationships that we have with our sponsors and amazing people across the motorcycle community. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning in and chiming in. Until I see you out there somewhere on the road, come say hi to me. Y'all stay ornery.